What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I will be talking about how to get your menstrual cycle back. This is a common problem a lot of women suffer with, and it's not healthy to not have a menstrual cycle, period, end of story. If you don't have one, your health is not optimized, and that's dangerous. That might be controversial, but it shouldn't be. Like, we're built to have a menstrual cycle. The only caveat is if you've gone through menopause, you should not have a menstrual cycle, and that would be very odd if you still do. You're probably not done with menopause yet. So that's the only caveat. If you're a woman who is premenopausal and you don't have a menstrual cycle, you're not healthy. And hearing that on a podcast is what kickstarted my health journey and stopped fixating. Well, I still struggle with my body image, but it helped me hearing that helped me realize what I was doing to try to look better. I wasn't doing for my health. So it was what I needed to hear. So if you're in this spot right now and you're hearing this, that's okay. Don't feel bad if you feel bad. I've been there, and that's why I'm talking about it, because it's important, and I don't think it's talked about enough. I didn't realize it wasn't healthy to not have a menstrual cycle, because when I went to the doctor and I was put on hormone replacement, they're like, yeah, so you're like super active and stuff, so you'll probably just won't have a menstrual cycle, and that's totally normal and fine. There's two wrong things in this statement. One, if you're on hormonal birth control, you do not have a cycle because you're taking exogenous, not bioidentical hormones. So synthetic hormones, you're taking synthetic hormones that are disrupting your body's natural production of hormones, but also affecting your cognitive function and the health of your whole body. A lot of the breast cancer scare with hormones was due to synthetic hormones, like birth control. So that's wrong statement number one. And number two, it's totally wrong to say if you don't have a menstrual cycle, don't worry about it. That's totally fine. That's also not true. And this is something I'm really passionate about, because when I went on birth control, I was never explained what were the negative repercussions of that, or how did it affect me physiologically. I knew most people who were on birth control. I had some friends who were prescribed it when we were like in 5th or 6th grade for having a heavy flow or for having acne. That is wrong. You should not give an 11-year-old synthetic hormones because they have signs that there's something going on physiologically. Having a heavy flow, having PMS, having menstrual cramps, having acne. Those are signs that there's something you're doing. Your body's trying to signal like, hey, this thing you're eating or this lifestyle that you have, it's making it hard for me to do what I need to do, so stop doing it. So I had terrible acne. I had really, really bad acne, like really bad, like awful, like cystic acne everywhere, like back, neck, face, terrible, super embarrassing. My diet was terrible. I had a terrible relationship to food. I would always overeat. I was pretty active, so I would get really fat and then really tall when I'd hit a growth spurt, and really skinny and lanky. And then it would happen over and over again until I stopped growing. Then I would just get fat. But anyway, so because I was active, I could eat crap and not see those repercussions. And because of my poor relationship to food, I would overeat because I thought I wouldn't get that food again because food was restricted in my household. But when I cleaned up my diet and started to eat just better quality foods, more fruits, more vegetables, more protein, less refined carbohydrates, less packaged foods, my acne cleared up. I've been told I have great skin, which is so funny to me now because my skin was atrocious. It was terrible. It was awful. I was super insecure about it for the duration of middle school, high school. Super insecure. I was also like a foot taller than everybody for like a really long time, which didn't really help because I stuck out like a sore thumb. But yeah, so my point is with all of this stuff, 1, birth control is overprescribed. 2, it's not normal to not have a menstrual cycle. 3, if you're having like symptoms, like physiological symptoms that you shouldn't have, which bloating, distension, acne, cramps, heavy menstrual cramps, PMS, mood swings, chronic fatigue, low energy, hair falling out. That's a red flag that there's something that's going on that needs to be addressed. It could be lifestyle, it could be nutrition, it could be training, it could be, there's a whole slew of things. But anyway, back to how to get your menstrual cycle back and why not having it makes you not healthy. So in general, our bodies are awesome. They're amazing. They're really cool. They give us a whole bunch of signals to let us know when something's off. But nowadays, we don't see it that way. We think, oh, I have acne. That's a problem. Let's take a medication and put a Band-Aid on it and get rid of the acne. But we're not asking the right questions. Why do we have acne in the first place? That's the right question. Why do we not have a menstrual cycle? Not, oh, I don't have a menstrual cycle, so I'm going to go on synthetic hormones to fake a bleed. And I will say, like, having a menstrual cycle can be very frustrating. Ladies, you know. Men, if you don't, you're lucky. But it's frustrating. It's a hassle, but it's super cool. And we should have one every month or so because it tells us, 1, we have the ability to bear children, which is amazing. You don't have to exercise that ability, but it is insane that we can hold a living being inside of us and grow it inside of us. Like, that's super cool. So it's amazing. But not having one, the reason we don't have one, and this is something I talk about a lot, is in general, most issues are caused by some sort of stressor. So if you think back in the day, we're under a lot of stress, or being chased by a lion in the caveman days. It is not safe to have a child. You're going to be stressed to the brink. You're probably not going to be sleeping a lot. You're probably going to be hungry, looking for shelter, on high alert, fight or flight. Your body's like, you know what? I can't have a child right now because I might not survive. And that would be really unsafe. And that would take the resources from me right now. Because when you have a child, your child that's growing inside of you is going to take all the minerals, vitamins, nutrients that it needs to grow. And so if you're not in a safe state, if you need the resources that you have available and you don't have extra resources to give a growing human being, your body's going to be like, it's not a good time to have a child, so we're just not going to have a menstrual cycle, and we're going to prioritize the other functions in our body right now. So, if you're under a lot of stress, you could have some hormonal issues. And really, that's what it was for me. I was a Division I athlete, so I played water polo at the highest level, except for the Olympics. That'd be crazy. I played Olympians. But yeah, I played water polo at the highest level. Basically, there's like pro in Europe, but it's like collegiate water polo players who just want to keep playing. There are a lot of Olympians that play because that's how they stay in shape, because after college, there's not that much going on. There might be some masters meets, but not really that much. So anyway, almost the highest level, we'll say. And so I was working out like 3 to 4 hours every day. That's a lot of physiological stress. And I was insecure about the way I looked. So I only ate whole foods to a kind of very extremely obsessive and restrictive degree. I was also an engineer. So I had a lot of homework. I didn't have a lot of free time. And I lived with really awful roommates. So that's like another stressor. So life stressors, right? Bad roommates, just college in general, pressure of that I put on myself to be the best athlete, too much physiological activity. And not only was I like working out 3 to 4 hours a day, but I was also walking everywhere. Like I'd walk from my house that I was renting with the bad roommates to class, back to home to eat my Whole Foods meals, back to class. So I was super active. I was probably eating over 4,000 calories a day. But given my activity levels, that was not enough. And I was not eating enough carbs. So body's under a lot of stress, probably underfueled despite the obscene quantities of food that I was consuming. And just mentally stressed to the brim. So that, with the fun synthetic hormones, triggered a cascade. It triggered a cascade that caused me to not have a menstrual cycle. And my body composition, I would say I was fairly lean. So too low body fat percentage is very stressful too on the body. So there was too low body fat, like there was so many stressors. So I lost my menstrual cycle. Back then I was like, this is cool, less to worry about, because I didn't know any better. Not having a menstrual cycle can lead to osteoporosis and osteopenia, mineral deficiencies, bone density issues, difficulty building muscle or maintaining muscle mass. There's probably other things I can't think of off the top of my head. Basically, it's not good. It's not a good sign. It's a sign your body's under too much stress, which depletes a lot of vitamins and minerals. And I wasn't supplementing with anything back then. I was eating obscene amounts of nut butter. But maybe I did get enough magnesium. I ate a lot of almond butter. But anyway, so just in general. So oftentimes a lot of the clients that come to me that don't have a menstrual cycle, they're underweight or they've been chronically dieting for a really long time. And so if you're underweight because you chronically restrict calories, overexercise to maintain that body composition, your body's going to be in a stress state. And if you've lost your menstrual cycle before, you're more likely to lose it again in a stress state because your body perceives any stresses as the same type of stress. It doesn't have categories. It doesn't have a lifestyle stress or a mental stress or a physiological stress category. It just sees stress as stress. Doesn't matter where it comes from. And that's what I like to tell a lot of my clients too, because they're like, well, like I'm not working out as much as I used to, or, you know, I'm eating a good amount of food. And it's like, yeah, but you know, you've got this big exam coming up and you're running a business and you have all these other things on your plate. And so even if, you know, maybe 10 years ago, like this wouldn't be as stressful, your body perceives it the same. So, and personally, like for myself, if I'm very stressed, I will lose my menstrual cycle. It might just be for a month here and there, but I will lose it. It'll go away because my body's very sensitive to stress because of the obscene amounts of stress that I've put my body under for the past decade or so. So, really, how to get your menstrual cycle back is manage your stress. And by that, I don't mean like breath work, journal. That might be part of it, but overall stressors. So if you're overtraining, train appropriately, reduce the volume. You don't need to be lifting every day. Probably 3 to 4 days a week is a nice 2 to 4 days a week. Some people just need 2 days. 2 days is the perfect dose, right? So it's 2 to 4 days a week. Some people, you know, and I was training too much before I saw my coach. I was training 6 days a week and I didn't need it. 4 days a week is perfect for me. Then nutrition. Are you underfueling? Have you been consistently underfueling? Have you been chronically dieting for a very long time? That's a great question, right? If you have, then you probably have to be at maintenance or even a slight surplus for a while to let your body heal and recover. And this is the state that I'm in right now. I'm not the most comfortable I've been in my body, I will say. But my body has been under a lot of stress this past year. And right now, me going into a cut, really dumb, really not smart of me to do. So I'm not going to. I would like to, but I'm not going to because my body has been under an obscene amount of stress to where I have lost my menstrual cycle again. I've gotten it back. So we're good. Yeah, and these are what I'd say are the easier stressors to manage. I mean, there's a lot of mental hurdles to fueling your body enough and training appropriately without, because, you know, if you've been overweight like I have, right, it's a fear you have in your mind you're going to get back there if you're not training as intensely or if you're eating too much, right? So I understand that. But because you can manage them by taking simple actions, I'm essentially telling you to do less. That's easier-ish sometimes. I would say personally, I struggle most with the managing of the emotional stressors, like restfulness and not putting too much on your plate. Something else I did is I removed some things from my plate. I wanted to do a trip too, and I canceled it. I didn't book it because I knew travel is very stressful for me, which is a bummer. So I talked about training for my alumni game, and I'm not going because I had back-to-back trips, and right now with the other things that we have going on, it would be too much, and it would put too much stress on me, which sucks because I really did want to go. I'm still swimming. Next year I'll be there, but yeah, it's kind of a bummer. So, but I'm glad that I am taking the break. And then I left an in-person networking group because it was a lot of time every week. And with the client load that I have now, I just couldn't commit to keep doing it. And I wasn't putting in the effort that I should have. And it was just too much. So I left, and that removed a big relief off my shoulders. So anyway, and especially if you're type A, like taking things off your plate, you feel like a failure, which is silly. It's dumb. I know that. But that's how I feel. It's not reality. So yeah. And then me taking time to take breaks and chill has been really important too. So I'm trying to take like a day off a week, or I'm just doing things for myself. And it's not really like a full day. I might answer messages in the morning. But then also intentionally taking vacations with just my husband and I so that we can like shut off and disconnect and be present. Prayer has been really helpful for me as well. And that's something I'm not great at. So it's something I've been continuing to work on. But yeah, that like belief, and I'm a Christian and I've talked about this before, but belief in God has helped me a lot too. It's like not everything. Well, I can't control anything, so why fixate on things I can't control? And that has helped alleviate some mental loads that I used to hold. So yeah, so those are kind of the things that I've been doing. But in general, right, there's different categories, right? So physiological stressors, reduced training, volume, and intensity. Food. Stop underfueling. Fuel yourself. Focus on building muscle and getting strong. Then mental. Can you remove anything from your plate? Are you doing too much? That's the hardest thing for a lot of my clients, because a lot of them are type A like me. But trying to remove things from your plate will just help. Even if you don't feel stressed, you probably are more stressed than you think. And then having some like practice that fills your cup helps you recoup and refuel your nervous system, so to speak, on the weekends. Like, is there an activity that you like to do? Do you like to hike? Do you like to ski? Do you like to read? Do you like to play video games? And that's something that I do. Some people hate on video games. There's a difference between like being addicted to like using it as a way to just shut your brain off and chill. Because I know a lot of people who are addicted to video games, and like they do that instead of live their lives or go outside or do things. And it's like there's a difference there. It's like it depends how you use the tool, right? So anyway, find something you love to do and do it. Make it a practice, and then have something every day that can ground you. It might be going on a walk outside without tech. It might be journaling. It might be prayer or meditation. It might be cooking. Cooking's great. I've been doing more of it, and it's been really great because it's like I'm just focusing on doing the tasks that I have to do. I'm very present and mindful, and I'm not thinking about the stressful things that I have to do or whatever. So yeah. So basically, how to get your menstrual cycle back. Reduce stressors. But I guess so physiological stressors, there are a lot of them. And I focus mostly on training and nutrition. But if you have GI issues, that's a physiological stress on the body. You need to address those. If you are overweight and your body composition is not ideal, like you have too much body fat on your frame, that's a physiological stressor. So losing body fat and building muscle is going to help you get your menstrual cycle back. Trying to think of other things. I can't right now, but there's probably something else. But in general, getting healthy, improving your overall metabolic health, addressing insulin resistance, gut health issues, underfueling, overtraining, managing your stress, and having some restfulness practices. Doing those things and making your body more stress resilient will help your body get to a better place to where it'll feel safe enough in order to reproduce, so to speak, and bear children. So anyway, if this is something you have been struggling with and it's something that you are open to getting some guidance on, book a discovery call. We can just chat through what the coaching process would look like for you. And no pressure. If it's a good fit, then we can talk about next steps. If not, that's okay. But if you have learned a lot from this episode, if you could share it or rate it or subscribe, that just helps me get in front of more people, which helps me help more people, which is the goal of this show. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.